All right, guys, welcome back to Mom Quiz class. It is Tuesday morning. I hope you guys had a great Monday. We had a lot of fun with people that were in the chat. At least I had a lot of fun. We were reviewing the RSG review questions. I got to go through and call on different people. We shared out answers. Felt like a lot more like class. So I'd really like to do that. I'm still not getting a whole lot of people signing up when we do our WebExes. So again, it'd be great if you guys want to just check in, especially if we do reviews. I think we're going to start trying to do those reviews on Monday mornings, okay? So be on the lookout for that. We have a new background today. It is one of our vocabulary words, which is ironclad. We are going to be on chapter 16, lesson 2. That's page 161. So if you guys look here, try to get my hand in the picture. Well, my hand's disappearing, but here we go. So here and here. We have two ironclads here. You guys can see the boats in the background. Those are more of those classical boats, Revolutionary War and the explorer ships. But here we have the ironclad, someone's ironclads. Someone said, let's put a bunch of iron plates on a boat to protect it from cannonballs. So you can see we have two here, one of the north, one of the south. Different styles. One has multiple cannon openings that can fire different lengths, and then the other boat is very low to the water, and it only has one circular cannon that can then rotate and it's coming out. So, you know, they both have different advantages and disadvantages. One has a lot more gun power, weaponry, can fire a lot more at once. The other one, however, looks like it would be harder to hit because it's barely above the water, and also the cannon firing, since it can move, it can rotate and fire a little bit more accurate in pinpoint precision firing than the other ironclad. But again, these were prototypes. These would eventually become battleships and submarines. This was just kind of the precursor to those. Okay, so again, that is one of our vocabulary words. So let's just go backwards in our vocabulary words. We have an ironclad, which was a warship covered with iron. We have the mini ball. That was a bullet with a hollow base. It also had grooves in it, and we'll be looking at those. I have a couple of those to show you guys when I share my screen with you, if I remember to share before we start reading today. Then we have the rifle. This was a barreled gun that shot a bullet long distances. So these were just, you know, better guns than the musket, more accurate, could fire at further distances. You could start reloading them faster. So just the technology for weaponry got better during the Civil War. Most wars, you guys, is where there's a lot of technology advancements. So we're going to start seeing that. And then finally, hygiene, the conditions and practices that promote health. You know, bathing, cleaning clothes, cleaning your hair, just brushing your teeth, those kinds of things. Those are all hygiene. All right. So before we get on, let me share my screen with you. All right, here we go. I'm going to share. Here we go. So I have some pictures here for you. And these are what we were talking about. I think I can zoom in even a little bit more. All right, so we have our rifles here. You can see they're long guns. Remember, they used to be able to put bayonets on the end. And there's actually a picture in our book that we're going to look at. The bayonet's extremely long. So you throw that thing on the end of the rifle, and now you could hit someone, you know, 8 feet away from you with this sword, bayonet. So it turned your gun into a spear, basically. And then we have our mini balls here. You can kind of see the grooves around it. That would help kind of like a football, make a spiral. So it makes the bullet spiral when it comes out of the gun. Those grooves hit the grooves that are inside the barrel, and it spins it and makes it a lot more accurate. And you can see the bottom of some of these right here, you guys. So those are kind of hollow at the bottom. All right, we'll read about what this mini ball what were the benefits of this mini ball. All right, you guys, let's get into reading it. We have some other pictures we'll show. I'll move it along, but I also have some other ironclads for you guys to see. Some are drawings. Just kind of shows what was going on during this time period. Okay. All right, let's go back to the rifles and let's get into it, you guys. All right. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up, smash up those likes, and make sure to subscribe, you guys. All right, life in the Army. Let's see what was going on. Those who fought, turning civilians into soldiers. So remember, you guys, this is the Civil War. This is not where our army goes fights another country's army. This is where half of our country is fighting the other half of the country. So soldiers, farmers, just any men in general, some women, but mostly men and slaves, were just fighting each other. And these were not trained soldiers. They were not professional soldiers. These were everyday people that suddenly had to get a gun and start fighting. So they didn't know how to properly conduct themselves in a military atmosphere, marching, following orders, cleaning guns. You know, a lot of them knew how to clean guns because they were farmers and hunters and that kind of thing. But it's a lot different when you're in an army for the first time. And of course, they didn't have cannons and stuff like that on the farm. So things changed for average citizens. So let's look at those who fought, turning civilians into soldiers. A majority of soldiers in the Civil War were between 18 and 30. About half the soldiers on both sides came from farms. Many of them had rarely left their fields. As a result, many viewed going off to war as an exciting adventure. They had never seen what war was like, you guys. They hear, oh, we get to go to war, we get to march, we get to camp, we get a gun, we get a, you know, it sounded like an adventure, and of course it wasn't, but at the beginning, people were excited. A majority of soldiers in the war were born in the United States. However, immigrants from other countries served on both sides. Irish and German immigrants made up the largest ethnic groups. Native Americans also served on both sides. Many African Americans wanted to fight in the war. They saw the war as a way to end slavery. At first, neither side accepted African Americans into their armies. However, as the conflict wore on, the North let African Americans serve. And real quick, if you guys have not seen the movie Glory, if it's okay with your parents, check out that movie. Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington. It's an amazing movie. I think it's an amazing movie. It's about the 54th Massachusetts Civil War Regiment, and Morgan Freeman's in it. It's a great cast. It's a great, great movie. You should check it out. Glory. All right. In all, about 3 million Americans fought in the war. Oh, sorry, I thought I lost my place. All right, so sorry guys. In all, about 3 million Americans fought in the war. Roughly 2 million soldiers served the Union. Just under 1 million served the Confederacy. Many of the soldiers were volunteers. They enlisted for a variety of reasons. Some sought adventure and glory. Some wanted to escape life of boredom, and some sought for loyalty. Others signed up for the recruitment money. Circle this little paragraph we just read, you guys. That might come up in the question. All right, volunteers trained in local army camps. Soldiers did hours of drills and exercises each day. They learned to stand correctly, march in formation, and handle their guns. Between drills, soldiers preferred numerous chores. These included digging trenches, cutting firewood, and cleaning camp. Union soldiers wore blue uniforms. Confederate troops wore gray and yellowish brown uniforms. The uniforms often were of poor quality. Contractors took advantage of the need for uniforms and supplied shoddy goods. That means like junky clothes and stuff. Some southern states had trouble even providing full uniforms for their soldiers. Most soldiers in army camps received plenty of food. Their rations included beef or salt pork, flour, vegetables, and coffee. On the battlefield, soldiers' diet became more limited. Some soldiers went hungry because supply trains could not reach them. All right, so here's the question, you guys. What were some of the reasons that soldiers on both sides enlisted to fight in the Civil War? Go ahead and pause this, annotate, and answer your questions. or question, I should say. All right. So who could tell us what were some of the reasons that soldiers on both sides enlisted to fight in the Civil War? Arlette, go ahead and tell us. Very good. Yes, adventure and glory, boredom, loyalty, and money. So you can find that on right there, you guys. Right. There we go. Still kind of tricky with the background. It makes things disappear. All right. So let's move on to section 2, you guys. Hardships of Army life. So the question we're looking for, what was the main cause of death in the Civil War? All right, soldiers endured terrible conditions on the battlefield and in the camps. The fields often were wet, muddy, and cold. Many camps were unclean due to piled up garbage and outdoor toilets. The soldiers themselves often were filthy. They usually went weeks without bathing or washing their clothes. Their bodies and clothing became overrun with fleas and lice. Hygiene, conditions and practices that promote health, was poor during the war. Widespread sickness resulted. Disease killed more soldiers during the Civil War than battle wounds. All right, so what was the main cause of death in the Civil War? Pause it, annotate, write your answer down. All right, this was a quick one. Amber, can you tell us what the answer is? Fantastic, that's right. Diseases. Diseases killed more soldiers than any fighting, you guys. So that's a big deal. You know, they didn't keep themselves clean. If they had, that could have been a big change in the war for both sides. All right, let's look at changes in military technology. So we have the guns there. I'm going to move it down to the ironclads. Let's pull up this one here. All right. So name 2 advances in military technology that were used in the Civil War, you guys. The Civil War brought about many advances in military technology. These advances led to higher death rates for both sides. One such improvement was the development of the rifle. A rifle is a gun with a grooved barrel that causes a bullet to spin through the air. This spin gives a bullet more distance and accuracy. A mini ball is a bullet with a hollow base. The bullet expands upon firing to fit the grooves in the barrel. Rifles with mini balls could shoot further and more accurately than old-fashioned muskets. So again, that's the rifle and the mini balls right there. Okay. Now the ironclads. Another advancement was the development of the ironclad. This was a warship covered with iron. These ships could withstand attack better than wooden ships. In the first ironclad battle, Confederate Merrimack, Virginia fought the Union Monitor. The battle ended in a tie. Okay. Now I'll double check, you guys, but I believe the picture behind me is a representation of that battle. So the Merrimack wood, I believe, is the one with the circular cannon. And the other one, this one here, I believe, is the Monitor, but I will double check that. Okay. All right. So again, the battle ended in a tie. Name 2 advances in military technology that were used in the Civil War. Who could give us an answer? Bismarck, go ahead. Very good. The rifle and the mini ball. You could have also said the ironclads. Fantastic. Good job. All right, you guys, we got one more question, but this is looking at the picture, and this was the picture I was telling you guys about. Look at those rifles they're holding, and look at the bayonet on the end. The bayonet looks almost as long as the rifle itself, so it's crazy long. But look at the photograph and answer the question, how might drill help turn recruits into soldiers? That means like drills, military drills that they ran as a group. Okay, so go ahead and pause this, think about it, write your answer down, and then unpause, and we'll review the answer. All right, who can give us an answer? How might drill help turn recruits into soldiers? This is more opinion, so I'm not going to call anyone, but I will give you what's the answer, kind of what we're looking for. This would help them, you guys, think and move more as a group or a team, responding quickly to commands. Okay, so remember, these guys had to get in formation. They had to move to different locations immediately if they were commanded to. They had to get in certain formations to fire their weapons or to attack. And so they had to drill that, because you can't just tell them what to go do and they go do it. You run drills every single day over and over and over, so that when there's cannons going off, rifles going off, people are dying, you're shooting, and you hear a command, you're able to quickly, as a group, go and do that command. Okay? So again, by helping them think and move as a group or a team, responding quickly to commands. All right, you guys, excellent job. Remember, we only have one more unit or section, section 3, and then the review. So great job today, you guys. I hope you had a wonderful day. Thank you again for everyone that checked in today on our Monday morning. And have a great job. Have a great Tuesday, great rest of your Tuesday. Get this done, and don't forget to send me pictures. All right, you guys. All right, have a great rest of your day.